Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Bro Country, aka the Virus Edition.
AKA Two Brothers, No Smothers.
AKA Two Brothers, No Mother here.
AKA Two Bros, No Hoes.
AKA Two Jews, No Tattoos.
AKA Two Fellas, No Mellow Yellows.
AKA One Office. That's it.
Yeah. One Office, No Schmoffice.
One Office. Guys, we are back. Hope you're having a decent week, a decent kickoff to the week. We're changing facial configurations.
It's growing.
It's growing. Lots of good stuff happening.
Want to remind people, hey, listen up. June 4th, it's a Thursday night. No matter where you are in this goddamn world.
You can see us do an hour of stand-up or 50 minutes of stand-up or whatever we're going to do.
45.
It's going to be a blast. We are going to headline a set of comedy, the Nowhere Comedy Club. You enter on Zoom. You can be a part of it. They're only selling 390 tickets. So hopefully we can sell it out. You guys want to hear material that we've kind of honed here and put into our act plus our other stand-up. There are thousands of people who listen to this podcast on a regular basis. I think we can get 400 people to show up.
And tickets are not much. I think they're like $10 or 15. $10 for the first 100, and then I think it's 15 after that. There might be a VIP hangout afterwards, which we can explain to you, but it's going to be super fun. That's June 4th. It's a Thursday night. We'll keep reminding you, get your tickets for that. We'll give you a link on how to get those tickets on our socials. So,
all right, you ready for this?
Yes.
Shall we dive in? Shall we jump in?
I'm ready to.
Here we go. And we start with a bang, all right? I'm just going to read you what the headline was. A naked man, that's always great,
Already love it.
climbed through a house's skylight during a drugs raid.
So to go into the house or to get out of the house?
Out of the house. Okay. Drug raid happening. He's like, I'm naked. I got to get out of here. Why not go to the one place where everyone can see me, the roof?
So wait, so he climbed up onto the roof through a skylight. I'd be terrified that something would get caught.
He was clutching cannabis as he scrambled onto the roof. Yeah, because you don't need your hands to crawl up. Like what you're saying is like, think about crawling through a skylight. Unless it's one of those low, you're on the third floor and it's low and you push it up.
That could be what it is.
Maybe, but it was insane. He crawls through, scrambles onto the roof. Your bare ass is going to feel great on.
Who had the joke about we had a skylight
tub.
And we had neighbors upstairs? They didn't like it.
I don't know.
It's
a good joke.
It's a good joke. So he climbs out and he's on the roof and he's naked and he's clutching cannabis.
And
we need to legalize weed. I think that's
right.
the lesson after this tableau makes its way into the world.
You don't need gloves or hands when you're sitting naked on a hot tile roof. By the way, it was sunny. It was daytime when this was happening. At night, I get it. It's cool. The tiles feel good on your ass. No, not now.
This dude's naked, though.
Maybe it tells you how much this guy likes to be naked. You know what I mean? That this is an all-day thing. It's like, how much stuff does he do naked that if he has roommates, people are like, you got to put your clothes on, Eric.
Do it, dude.
Put them on, for Christ's sake. When you cook, I know it's hot in the kitchen, but at least put some pants on.
And you know what? Just do it for the Postmates dude who's got to show up and drop off food.
He's in pretty good shape, so I get it. You know, you're not ashamed to be naked, but when you start pushing it like that, it's like, come on.
Right.
This is our apartment, not Burning Man. That's essentially what you're saying.
Well,
all right?
I would know because I've never been to Burning Man.
I have.
You have?
Drink. Officers executing a warrant sealed off escape routes and persuaded him to climb back inside. Persuaded him?
So now
How
they're
did
like
that go?
talking a cat down from a tree.
Here, boy. It is like coaxing a cat down from a tree. Be careful. He's got a mind of its own. He can do anything. A high person is like a cat.
You want some?
A high person is like a cat. Think about that. Think about that right now.
Okay.
A high person is like a cat. There is no rhyme or reason to anything he or she does.
If you take out a laser pointer, you can like attract them for a minute.
That's right.
Too.
Okay. Very hard to wrangle. Think about that.
So
high
hard
person, so hard to wrangle.
A really high person.
It makes sense to the cat or the person.
Whatever they're doing, but
Exactly.
to anyone else, it feels like a weird move. Like, high person could be under a bed for like a week.
Yeah. And you're like, whoa.
Or at least all night. And be
Yeah.
like, God, I've never seen this room like this before. And you're like, get out from under. There are people over. Get out from under.
He's taking a crap in a box in the kitchen. That's a high person.
High person would do
right?
that.
He's high. What are you going to do? He tried to scratch that baby's eye out. He's high.
He's high.
He's high. Why is he on the roof? He's high. Okay. Why does he have cocaine scales in his room? He's a cat.
He's a cat.
He's a cat.
Oh, okay.
That's because he's a cat.
Yeah.
Because cats love cocaine. That is a drug that a cat would do because cats are so self-absorbed that like cocaine would be the type of, that's like the drug of choice for, if a cat were a person,
right,
or a cat had access to drugs.
Right, like a golden retriever, it's beer.
Golden retriever is beer. I'd say a parakeet, it's ecstasy. But for a cat, it is cocaine. It's
like
all
a rabbit.
about me.
Like a rabbit might be like weed,
maybe.
But like a cat,
a rabbit would be like ayahuasca.
Right.
Okay. Rabbit's ayahuasca. Golden retriever is beer. Parakeet is Molly. Yeah. Cat, cocaine.
Cat is coke. All
That's
the way.
just what it is. Cocaine scales and money were left in his room. That's a good call. Grab the cannabis, go up on the roof, but leave the cocaine scales and money in your room.
Right.
You want to bring that stuff on the roof. You don't want to dispose of that. Like, there's a place you could put it on the roof where I feel like the cops just would be like, we're not looking up there.
I'd go straight to the chimney and throw it down.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Because now they're going to look on the roof, and meanwhile, it's coming down.
Bring the thing that carries the lightest sentence up on the roof.
That's smart.
Bring the thing that you could lie and say you've got glaucoma and it's helping you out with on the roof.
Right. Bring the thing that's legal in some states.
I think this happened in England. Officers executing a warrant sealed off escape routes and persuaded him to climb back in the Torquay.
It did happen in England. So maybe this guy's like, I'm the Beatles right now.
Right, exactly.
I'm going on the roof and I'm just going to let it be.
It's not known why he was nude. Because he likes it. Again, like it. Many of his behavioral choices, we don't know. He was high, literally high on a roof and naked like a cat. Although more like a cat because he was more like a cat, but a cat wears a collar even. So he was even more naked than a cat.
He was more naked than a cat.
Right. The South Devon crime and proactive
You know why
policing.
Cats wear collars?
Why?
So you can hear them coming.
That's right.
That's how much you don't trust those assholes.
The South Devon crime and proactive policing team said he was quickly persuaded to return. What did they do to persuade him?
Get inside or you're going to jail.
Catnip?
I don't know.
A tasing? Did that happen?
Maybe there was a tasing was in the offing.
Yeah, exactly. Officers said, this is taking social distancing too far. All right, fine. You made a joke.
You don't need to
He was distancing himself from lawful behavior. I get it.
I get that.
Devon Police drugs team said that they have been relentlessly busy. That feels like a very British term. Relentlessly busy.
We've been over our knickers with
relentlessly busy.
It's so weird.
That is to me the most British way of saying it. Another person was arrested after 12 kilograms of cannabis worth 120,000 pounds were seized. 12 kilograms.
Look, legalize it, England. I mean, it's time.
It will lighten the load in every way. You're never going to have to go in and raid this dude. You know what I mean? Let him legalize it and tax his ass.
Tax the shit out of this dude.
Tax him and take that money.
And then use it to build better roofing.
Use it to build better roofing, but take the tax on cannabis and use that instead of people having to pay a tax to drive to the center of England. Do you know they have to take if you're going to drive
into the city of London,
you have to pay £5 just to get in, at least £10 just to get into the center of London.
Well, I mean, it's like going over
a bridge
the George
or a
Washington
tunnel,
Bridge,
but still.
I get it.
That would be the thing to do.
I do kind of love because this feels like this should have been happening in like Georgia.
Right.
Or like Florida, obviously. But like,
to me, there's so many choices in this story that are fantastic. That he
is naked.
Uh-huh.
The fact that he grabbed the wrong thing and took it up on the roof. The fact that he went through a skylight and thought, I'm going to go up on the roof and no one will see me.
Yeah.
But I'll be naked.
So everyone can see how naked. Like,
they'll see me through the skylight naked.
No one will miss. Like, if someone is sitting on a roof in clothes, you might be like, oh, he's trying to fix a tile or something went wrong up there. But if someone is naked clutching cannabis on a roof,
something went wrong.
And everyone's going to look. You are drawing more attention to yourself. So what I would say is put clothes on. Like, if you have that much weed.
He didn't have time.
If you have that much weed.
Have time.
But you have to assume that you could be raided at every moment.
Yeah.
Do you think he
this doesn't seem like a guy who plans deeply ahead in the
Did he
future.
just come out of the shower, or was he just about to go into the shower? I don't know how people are just naked all the time in their house. That to me doesn't feel. I know, and when it gets hot, I understand, but it's not that hot.
Does he have roommates?
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the issue. I feel like the roommates maybe tipped the authorities off.
They're like,
this guy's
there's so much weed and cocaine scales in this guy's room. We want to get rid of him. He's naked all the time. We're going to call the cops on him.
This is what we're going to do.
On our own house.
This is what we're going to do.
That makes sense.
All right, that's the first story, guys. It's down in the books. We have a voicemail. People ask us what are some other podcasts to listen to. We're going to give you one right near.
The Well-Read Podcast. This is Trey Crowder, our buddy, who left this little voicemail. We love this podcast. It's so funny. It's so riffy. These guys are so smart and they're hilarious.
They could be talking about anything. I remember how they
I think they were talking about like air conditioning.
They talked about how air conditioning in an office is like the setting of air conditioning in his office is a predominantly, it's how men in offices
control the
environment.
Play God with the environment.
It was such an enlightened and thoughtful conversation.
These guys are hilarious.
I love them.
The show is well read. Listen to this voicemail and then subscribe to it. It's fantastic.
And we'll see you on the other side.
Howdy there, y'all. This is Trey Crowder from the Well-Read Podcast, reporting to you live from my house in Burbank, California, and just sitting here resigning myself to the fact that I'm going to look like the damn Unabomber before L.A. County ever opens back up. But, whatever's clever and safe for everybody, that's what I always say. This week on the Well-Read Podcast, we've got the podcast senior good buddy, Mr. DJ Lewis, sitting in for our intrepid co-host, Corey Ryan Forster, and we run the gamut of topical and entertaining issues for y'all. We talk about everything from fat idiots with assault rifles and the impotent nature of that entire dynamic, and also some frontline reports from Mr. Lewis, straight from the quarantine era dollar store biosphere. And probably won't be surprised to hear that people in the dollar store during the pandemic are not holding together particularly well, let's say. So DJ, who happens to work at one of those stores, one of the stores where I don't want to, call them out by name, but let's just say it's one of those stores where everything is generally $1, about $1, generally speaking. DJ works there and has for a while now, so he knows exactly what it's like on the ground level during these trying times that we are all living through. Then, toward the end, we get into some discussions about, what else? History and conspiracy theories and the vulgar nature of bathroom graffiti over the eons, and clickbait and everything from, human nature and butts and farts and everything in between. That's how we do it on the Well-Read Podcast, and, we figure if it ain't broke, why break it? All that and more this week on the Well-Read Podcast. We hope you check her out. Ski.
Let it sail. Go, go, go. Let it sail. Go, 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 go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we've mentioned many times, we have a YouTube page. If you go to YouTube and look up Sklar Bro Country, you'll find our YouTube page. Subscribe to it. Spend some time on it. Look at some of the videos. We've got a ton of old stand-up of stuff that we've done. We're starting to do, we're going to put up this series, Held Up, where we'll introduce it, kind of give a little DVD extras about it. We're going to start to do sort of behind the scenes about the Cheap Seats episodes that we have up there.
Yeah, telling extra stories, almost giving you DVD commentary, a little extra, something you can't find anywhere else. We're very excited about that.
So go to our Sklar Bro Country page and check that out and subscribe to that. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's jump into this story. So graduations from, I don't know if you guys, if you're out there and you've got a son or a daughter or niece or nephew or a brother or sister who is graduating from high school or college right now, it sucks. This is the worst.
It's not really a graduation, but my son is supposed to be graduating from elementary school.
It's not a graduation.
Hey.
It's a culmination. It's a culmination of all the years that he went there, but it's not a graduate. I'm talking about high school or college or graduate school. It's a terrible year because
to do it on Zoom just feels weak.
Our friend's daughter got bat mitzvah on Zoom this past weekend.
beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was so well done.
Our stand-up show on June 4th will be beautiful.
On Zoom. And those things can happen. But a graduation involves so many more people. I feel like that's an in-person thing. All right. It's a raw deal that they have to go with. Although you can get like anybody to come and deliver the speech, which I think is great.
Right.
But at the same time, with people delivering commencement speeches from their homes, they're going to be more relaxed.
Right.
And you have the opportunity for them not to take it as seriously, and they could act like douchebags.
Right.
Case in point,
happened.
this is exactly what happens. It means way less to them. Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse.
Got a little sassy.
Yeah, as far as like Republicans go, he's not so bad, in my opinion. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
he seems like a pretty level-headed guy. He's not afraid to go against the president from time to time.
All right.
He speaks his mind.
Free thinker.
I definitely think like he's a guy who, you know, I'm not going to agree with him on issues and stuff, but I don't think he's a bad guy.
Right.
That's what I'll say. Like, I can live with that guy.
So he was asked to speak at whose?
At his high school graduation.
So the high school that he
went to in Nebraska. He should steer clear of doing these in the future, or he should just prepare for them.
Right.
He just got too comfortable. So on last Saturday, Fremont High School in Fremont, Nebraska, held an online graduation ceremony for its senior class. Nebraska Republican Senator Ben Sasse, an alumnus of the school,
Right.
was tapped to deliver the address. Okay. This is what's nuts. Sasse's 8-minute speech. So, 8-minute speech. So he really put some time and effort into it.
1/3 of one of these episodes.
Was without any question one of the weirdest.
Strangest.
Yeah, the comments he made, and I'm just going to go through them, Jay, and you
Yes.
can kind of appreciate this.
You
sort
can
of
watch
thing.
the full speech. You definitely should watch
Thanks
it.
to Allison Gordon of CNN, who went through the full speech. We can, through CNN, offer you a few of the highlights that they highlighted that we think are great. Here's some quotes from his speech. If you're a parent, you're a teacher. That's true. Thanks a lot, China. We're all teachers now. What?
I mean,
Again, you know,
like
how about thanks, Trump, for not paying attention to the signs?
here's the other thing.
Now's the time to speak up.
So yes.
Let's place the blame wherever it goes.
I complain about the fact that I am now a homeschool teacher in many ways in
Yeah.
a way that I wasn't before. But that actually is one of the ways that we get closer to our kids and
Yeah.
more involved and understand what they're doing.
Thanks a lot, China, for making us closer to our kids.
Thanks a lot for involving me more in their lives, China.
Here's another quote. Let's be honest. At the start of this, most parents thought we'd be visionary math teachers, changing the world. But after about 2 weeks, we all just decided to default into gym teachers. I'm kidding. My dad was a gym teacher. I'm serious.
Are you kidding or are you serious?
I don't know what he's doing right now.
He's trying to say
those who can't teach and those who can't teach teach gym.
He's trying to say
We had high, lofty goals.
we thought we were going to be high-level professorial
teachers,
and it turns out all we want to do is run a gym class.
But is that all you want to
That's
do?
the
And
last thing I
that's the
wanna do.
last thing you want to do. Send your kids on wind sprints.
And then he said he's kidding, and then he said he's serious. I think he meant I'm serious about my dad being a gym teacher, but I think he probably midway through realized, oh, I'm going to slam my dad pretty hard right now.
I'm shitting on all gym teachers right now, including someone in my family who raised our family as a gym teacher.
Who supported our family.
Graduates, adults, don't tell you this. This is another quote. But once or twice a week, someone's going to ask you to climb a giant rope. No reason, just climb the rope. Figuratively, yes. See, okay. He could.
So if you took all of his quotes out of context and attributed it to like a higher philosophical meaning,
it might work.
They might almost make sense. Yes, as parents, we are teachers, and thanks, China. If you took everything he saed out of context,
Let's take
the other
everything
direction,
you did out of context.
Thanks, China, in a sincere way for connecting me deeper to my children's work.
And we're getting more physical stuff with our kids. It's like we're gym teachers, which
wanna
is
be
great.
gym teachers.
You know, and every day people got to tell you to climb a rope. Figuratively, yes. Let me go into this. Let me explain this. What do you get out of climbing a rope? Okay. Don't quit when you're near the top and you don't think you have anything left. You get on up there. Okay. Dig down deep when you have to reach your goals and you want to try and accomplish something.
Right.
Don't stop. Never stop. Love the feeling of the rope between your legs in a sexual way when you can't understand that sexuality at that point. These are all things that will help you in life except for the last thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Here's another quote. There are a whole bunch of people who make a whole bunch of money by just trying to help other people forget high school. They're called psychologists. In fact, 95% of all gainfully employed psychologists, and I'm serious. Again, I don't know whether he's being funny or not.
That
here.
when you say I'm serious, you're
I don't
usually
get it.
joking.
There are dozens of them who are gainfully employed. Their job is to just help people forget high school. He is kind of right about that.
Is he though?
I mean, not
That's
forget
what
about high school, but
that's not what a psychologist's job
No,
is.
no. There will always be money made in psychology. No, that's a joke. He said, do not, if you're headed to college, do not major in psychology. That part's not a joke. You got to stop saying what's a joke and what's not a joke because
You're killing, if they are jokes,
they're not. But
if you have to say that it's a joke, then that means it's not funny. That was one of the only tags we ever gave Sarah Silverman. And I love this joke she had. She had a friend who was Chinese who said, me Chinese, me play joke. This is a really old joke. And we said her response should have been, look, if you have to explain it, it's not that great of a joke.
Okay. You're going to say stuff at your high school reunion service ceremonies. Quote, remember that time that China started a big global pandemic that created the worst public health crisis in over a century and brought the economy to its knees and we had to stay at home and everybody was hoarding toilet paper and we all watched this documentary about some weirdo dude who raised tigers?
What?
Service ceremonies? I've been to reunions. We've been to a couple of our reunions. I don't understand what a reunion service ceremony is. What is that? What is that?
Never heard of that in my life.
Never heard about that in my
it.
life. How about you just say reunion? And again, don't put the blame where it all is right here.
Yeah, don't just blame China, you dummy.
Okay?
Weird. This guy is off the rails.
Off the rails.
And there's no way to cut him off unless, I guess, you just exit him from the Zoom.
Plus, it's a high school teacher. I don't know. We just lost Ben Sasse. Here's another quote. Everybody named Jeremy is the worst. Great. Did he never listen to Pearl Jam? Because Jeremy's going to speak in class again.
Congratulations.
And you just lit a fire under that ass.
You just created the next school shooter, you dick.
Way to go, dummy. Quote, we will bring the economy back. We're going to beat the virus. We're going to have a serious... Okay, if he stops, we're going to bring the economy back and we're going to beat the virus. Great. Let's do it.
100% speculation and hopeful thinking.
Right, and it's
I think we'll never beat the virus. Like, if a smarter person would be like, we're going to try and get back as quickly as possible, and we're going to find ways to live with the virus.
And by the way, we're Americans, and we will think this thing through, and we will use the determination and grit that our country has in
And the
order
innovation and intelligence of our smartest
to
people
try
help
and
pull
get
us
out
through.
ahead of this, and that's why I love being a part of this country. Instead, he said, we're going to have some serious reckoning with the thugs in China who let this mess spiral out of control by lying about it. Thugs in China.
What is that?
That's not who created this. And again, it's more subtle and nuanced than that. You have an opportunity. Like, what if he said, we're going to have to do some serious soul searching and investigating into how and why this happened at home and abroad so that we're better equipped to handle it in the future.
Or mistakes were made along the way, starting in China and then in our response.
What if he said, we have to understand what happened so that we can stop it in the future. And speaking of future, you all are the future.
Right.
And we are counting on you to be those thinkers
and investigators to figure out where along the line did we make mistakes so we don't
I
make
actually
those
tied it back to the goddamn graduation, and I'm not even the speaker,
You should
Ben
have been the
Sasse.
speaker. You should have
Instead
been
of arming everyone with the idea that they kick the ass of the next Asian kid they see, which they will
Even
now
if that
do.
kid is Korean, and
Yeah.
I'm sure no one's going to take the time to find out.
Again, too comfortable in his own home, spewing out stuff that he would say to his closest friends.
Yeah, you're
You're a public figure and you're speaking publicly. Okay, now here's the best. In a statement to the Lincoln Journal-Star, Sasse's spokesperson, James Wegman, criticized Nebraska Democrats for using the speech to fundraise.
Well, why wouldn't they?
I mean, it was a perfect speech. It was a perfect speech, just like our government's response to Corona. Perfect.
90,000 people have died.
Perfectly.
Perfect.
They have died.
Perfect speech.
Just like he said in the video greeting, Ben's proud of each of the graduates, and he believes. So the only thing that we take away from here is what he said in the greeting. I'm proud of you graduates. Now let's get into China.
Right.
And he believes their generation is tough enough to help lead us through the bumpy economic times ahead. He didn't really say that. Ben said that for months because it's true, the Chinese Communist Party coronavirus cover-up wasted time that could have contained the spread. Even though it was brought to our government's attention at the end of January and in February, and nothing was done for a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we're not going to talk about that. Those lies cost innocent lives in China and around the world. Pretending graduates are too fragile to hear the truth is silly. No. What's silly is filling graduates' minds with false or incorrect information.
Or speculation, or you know what? Even if part of that's true, by only providing them that side of the story. You're doing a disservice.
So the CNN reporter felt like their educated guess was that Sasse was trying to be a combination of funny and relatable, and he did not accomplish either of those things.
Comedy's hard. That's what we say. Whenever we see someone who's struggling, who's trying to be funny and isn't,
Comedy's hard.
we never say that person sucks. We always say comedy's hard.
Funny, hard to pull off.
Yeah.
That's
Certainly in a public
especially
address.
in a pre-recorded speech where you
Yes.
can't read the room
Yes.
by a U.S. senator. Like the senator has not been a place that the Senate has not been a place to work material out.
We're learning how to do comedy in this new environment. Like, there's no way you can have
Just
it on
don't
lock.
try and be funny if you've never been funny before. I'm sure maybe someone's like, he's funny. He should. Nope, you're not. Trust me.
How funny was Steve Kerr in The Last Dance?
He was funny.
His speech.
Yeah.
In front of everyone.
Steve Kerr's
like
speech.
50,000 people.
50,000 people. That was like hundreds of
150,
thousands of people.
In Grant Park, or where was it?
He said,
I had to bail Michael out again.
And then he just walked away.
I know.
was like,
the coach
Steve,
was like, look,
you're going to
we're
have
dialing
to
up the car, dial up the play for Kerr, because that's how we're going to win this thing.
And there I was, and I had to bail
Here
Mike.
I go. I had to bail Mike out again. And the place went nuts, and he walked away. Walk off.
Huge laughs from a huge
That's a guy
crowd.
who's not funny, but he nailed
Yeah.
a one line. He didn't get too crazy. He didn't blame China.
He didn't blame Yao Ming. So Sasse normally wears a tie. He didn't go with a tie this time. Maybe
Trying to be cool. He's trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Trying to be relatable and cool.
I'm sorry. Did he think people would be like, is that Ben Sasse or is that a skater kid at 7-Eleven? I just don't even understand. He wasn't clean shaven, which, come on, your face was as sloppy as your speech, dummy.
And your face is like the main thing people are seeing, dummy.
Your beard was definitely rough like your comedy, Ben Sasse.
Yeah,
Don't get too comfortable in these things.
Shave.
This is still a graduation for people, all right?
Shave for someone's commencement, you dick.
And talk about the future instead of using it as a way to deflect blame from your president's mishandling of the virus. That's all we're saying. The only person politicizing this whole speech was Sasse. He's the only one who did it.
No one at that high school was like, please give us your opinions on how we're in this situation where we can't be all together.
And ironically, the only thing that speech lacked was Sasse.
Good sass.
It had
Funny sass.
Had too much Ben Sasse and not enough Sasse. And that
There
was
it
the
is.
issue. And there's a show, you guys. That's how we do what we do. We're so happy to bring the show to you on a regular basis. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Maybe this is the thing that you do while you wash your dishes or take a walk or just get out and just let your brain wander, or you'd start gardening. I know people are starting to plant their stuff for the summertime. Do that in the spring. Do that. Listen to this podcast as you do that. Hope we give you 30 minutes a day, 25 minutes a day just to breathe. We appreciate you. Go punch a water faucet, then go wash your hands. Stay socially distanced.
But stay connected.
Stay protected.
Don't get infected.
We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.